realize I'd be first.
Good evening, sir.
Hello. I had to prepare something. My name is Nancy Laster Rowe.
Is that on?
Is it on?
Yes.
Is it on?
Tap it.
Just gotta get a little closer.
Yeah.
Oh. My name is Nancy Laster Rowe. I attended Washington City Schools and graduated from Meredith College. I got my master's degree from ECU. My children attended Beaufort County Schools, and I retired from Beaufort County Schools in 2016. I was a National Board Certified Teacher, School Improvement Team Chairperson for a long time, a school administrator, Certified Literacy Coach, Reading Foundation Instructor, and Instructional Specialist. My favorite job was teaching. I was blessed with two wonderful parents who supported public schools. My father served on the school board in Montgomery County before our family moved to Washington. He always told us that phenomenal, hard-working teachers were responsible for his successful career. His father was a barber, and because of his wonderful teachers, he graduated from Troy High School and attended UNC Chapel Hill as a 16-year-old. After some time spent in the Navy, he went on to graduate from Harvard Medical School. Before my father died, he set up a foundation which still provides outstanding high school English teachers and math teachers that are voted on to receive extra money in their paychecks each month. These funds are invested so they can grow. He was a frugal man, but this was important to him. I want to say that I'm partially responsible for this. When I received my first paycheck, my dad said, asked to see it, and with a look of shock on his face, he said, "Is that all they're paying you?" And he kind of burst my bubble because I was really excited about that paycheck, but I have no regrets of my career. I've recently been disturbed by some flyers and videos that are attacking our schools. Is it okay to question the curriculum? Of course it is, but we need inquisitive, intelligent, and caring citizens on our school board who actually visit the classrooms, watch a math or language arts lesson, and report the truth, not bullies with political agendas. We need people who tell the truth instead of just spreading this negative information. Is it okay for a third grader to learn more than one way to solve a math problem? Of course. Will some of our standard course of study objectives overlap with Common Core standards? Yes, because main idea and details, for example, will be talked about. It needs to be. And by the way, the pandemic is over and the teachers are working diligently to get our students back on track. Also, our high school students who are enrolled in college courses, like Dr. Luke just said, may be exposed to more mature literature. On a somber note, did you know there are more than 100 foster children in Beaufort County? They deserve an excellent education just like everyone else. They depend on Beaufort County schools, and so do all of our students. We need to focus on the safety and academic growth of every child and the safety of our teachers and administrators. Beaufort County Schools is one of our largest employers. Nutrien wants our schools to succeed. Our hospital does. Our local businesses do.
Miss Nancy, that's your 3 minutes. I'm
Oh my
sorry.
God.
Yep. Did we start timing when the mic didn't?
Yeah, we're up behind it.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Miss Nancy.
Thank you.
Elizabeth Bennett. Good evening.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yep, good.
The timer might not catch me. I may finish before that. But, good evening. I thank you for the opportunity to speak tonight. For the past 30 years, I have had the privilege of working with some of the most amazing individuals, and all of these individuals have worked for Beaufort County Schools. Some of my dearest friends, so forth and so on. I can't even put into words just how amazing the teachers and the educators and the administration that I have worked with have been. I have, just like Ms. Rowe, truly been disturbed as I have received information at home, and just baffled. Honestly, I've not prepared anything because I wanted to speak from the heart. The teachers here in Beaufort County Schools work tirelessly, above and beyond what is asked of them. They teach the standard course of study that has been mandated by the state of North Carolina. They don't get to pick and choose what they teach. They are told by the state what they will teach, and they do so diligently. They plan, they study and look over data, and tirelessly, and I say tirelessly because they don't stop at 3 o'clock when the students leave. They use their planning time, they use time at home, and they are constantly trying to fill the gap, to close that gap that many students start with in kindergarten. You have students entering kindergarten that have hardly been spoken to at home. You have students entering kindergarten that are reading, and they're all in one classroom, and that precious one teacher is supposed to meet the needs of every single student in that classroom. And most of them, I will say, do everything in and above the powers that they have to make sure that every need, not just academic needs, but the social and the emotional needs of every student in their classrooms. So, if you've not visited a classroom, and this room is full of people that I know want to come and volunteer and see for themselves what is going on in Beaufort County Schools instead of just listening to negative rhetoric. Educate yourself. Thank you.
Thank you. Kurt Tucker.
For the record, it's spelled K-I-R-K over there. It's C-U-R-T, just to be correct. There may be some teachers that care about spelling. I'm here as a father of a BCS student and husband of a BCS teacher. My wife couldn't be here tonight because she is, after teaching 4 classes today, she is then driving the bus for the basketball team. She loves Washington High School and loves her students, and will not just, and she would do just about anything, including drive the bus. My children have received a sound education from Beaufort County Public Schools. Lynn Whittington, Alicia Vosberg, Mike Swenson, Jeff Sauls, Ann Sauls, Mrs. Gibbs, and so many more have contributed to the success of my children. My daughter started at Chocowinity Middle, but is now at the #1 public high school in the country, the North Carolina School of Science and Math. It was just accepted to both UNC and NC State, only possible thanks to the help of our dedicated educators. Both she and my son have been supported and challenged by teachers who allow them to take extra courses, participate in theater and athletics, and truly excel here. We have choices where to send our kids. We have chosen well with BCS. I've attended school board meetings over the past few years and witnessed a growing hostility from a segment of my own party toward our school board and teachers. This group criticizes and condemns the efforts of BCS without knowing what's really happening in the classrooms. There's no CRT indoctrination, LGBTQ agenda, or any other so-called woke ideas in the school. These ill-informed and inaccurate allegations distract from what are real problems in the school. We have a lack of people interested in becoming teachers in Beaufort County. Infighting propagated by this malicious political group deters people from wanting to teach here. Fewer teachers lead to larger classrooms, which contributes to lower test scores and also discipline issues. Instead of being supported by those wanting to serve on the board, our teachers feel neglected and bullied. The acknowledgement of different social groups is not indoctrination. It's education and inclusion. This allows students to feel seen. Every student deserves to be a part of our school. I'm a conservative Christian who understands that the separation of church and state is so the government doesn't dictate to our churches what to do, and our churches don't dictate to the government. Exposure to different cultures and people is part of the educational process for our entire community, not just people who look and pray like me. I encourage anyone who's part of the board to ask the teacher what's going on in the classroom. I know Carolyn and Terry are in the schools all the time because my kids and I see them there. Please, please stop listening to people who aren't in the schools telling you what's going on, and spend more time talking to the teachers and students. Thank you to the board members who support our teachers and students.
Adam O'Neill.
President of Beaufort Community College just stared you in the face and lied to you. Just stared you in the face and lied to you. He said that they don't teach more than two genders
Sit down. Adam, can you sit
at
down?
Beaufort Community College.
Can you sit down?
Sure, I'm glad to sit down. Here's from a student that took a picture of the test on her laptop. In every society, there are only two distinct genders. She marked true is false. There it is. That's from the classroom. He told you that didn't happen. That man lied in your face. That's what's going on in Beaufort County right now. That's what's going on. We have elementary kids being sent home with gay and lesbian books. Does anybody care?
Please address the board, Adam.
I know you all don't care. You just told the Beaufort Community College president that he does a great job, and he lied in your face. What are you doing? Who's supposed to stand up for these kids? Who's going to stop this stuff? You all just thanked him for lying to you. You should know this. We got gay and lesbian books in the schools. Do you care? He said it's not mandatory to attend
Adam,
community
there's
college.
no need in shouting, bud.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. He said it's not mandatory. So if you don't want to go to early college, you don't have to listen to the gender crap. It's not mandatory. Keep your kids out of early college. That's what he just told you. Keep your kids home and your Christian beliefs. Keep them at the house. Unbelievable. Something else, national anthem. You all have been lying about that too. I went to Washington basketball game. Talked to the announcer. He told me himself they've not been playing the national anthem for the basketball games. You all go around and say, oh, they play for the JV game. No, they don't. You all need to go to a game. They always play before the women's or men's or the boys' game. Boys or the girls' game. Always. You don't know what you're talking about. That's why you got to be replaced. You don't have any respect for these parents. These parents don't want this gender crap pushed on their kids. We're talking about high school kids. You all don't care. And that Luke guy who just lied in your face, he don't care. He's pushing it. Somebody's got to stop this.
The rules cannot call out employees.
That's all I got to say.
Yeah, you got to punch him on the...
I'll turn the mic off. I just want to address just one piece, national anthem. First off, I don't appreciate being called a liar by anybody, because I'm not lying. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
I want to just address the national anthem piece, because I don't like being called a liar by anybody, especially when I know they don't know what they're talking about. I attended every game that my grandson played in baseball and football at a Beaufort County school this year, then went to high school football games, and the national anthem was played at every single game I went to. Every single game. So I don't know what game people goes to that the national anthem's not played, but it's not any around here because I attend the games. So when you say, why don't you go out to school and see? You've already heard one speaker tonight says that they see me in the schools all the time. I'm in the schools all the time. I know what's going on in the schools. I go to events. I'll be at other events in the school this very week when we get out of here that I've already signed up and been invited to, as well as other members. That is not 100% accurate. They do play the national anthem at our schools.
Mr. Chairman, I didn't think we were supposed to respond.
It says that we don't necessarily have to respond, but you can respond.
Something different now.
We're not starting anything different. I've been here for 13 years and it's always been that way.
Yeah.
That's just what I understood.
No, you can respond.
Well, then, I don't know what
You
they're
better over
saying.
anybody else. Have they responded?
I'm not knocking anything, I'm just saying what I seen. He said what he saw, I said what I saw.
Says may or may not respond. Hood Richardson.
My name is Hood Richardson. These comments are not about teachers. They're not even about principals. They're not even about general staff. These comments are about my concern about what's going on the board. The board sets the policy for the schools. A weak board has a problem defending itself. Part of the problem here is this board has not been effective in stating exactly what policy is, and they have not been effective in handing policy down the line to the rank and file, to the teacher. Let's understand, my criticisms are not about teachers, they are about this board. The situation with curriculum, including LGBTQ, new math, CRT, and the woke movement is of concern to me. It is alarming that this school board has not communicated to the public, the teaching staff, a stronger and better defined message as to what the limits of curriculum and discipline are. As a matter of fact, you've been buying curriculums, paying $300,000 and $400,000 that are loaded with the kinds of things that I'm complaining about. Your reluctance to exercise your authority casts doubt on your ability to manage the school system, to affect the goal of education as opposed to indoctrination. That's what our problem is. Get on your horse, do your job. Set policy, set it effectively, and back it up with management that will enforce your will rather than management that you work for.
Terry McLaurin. Good evening.
Hi, I'm Carrie McLaughlin. I'm a retired educator, married to a retired educator. Is that better?
Yeah.
But I'm a retired teacher, married to a retired educator as well. Worked here, retired from here. Both my children went here. I now have a grandchild here. And I guess, number one, I'm go team Beaufort County Schools. I still feel a part of things here, and there's some great people here. I was itinerant, so I was in all the schools here, in and out of classrooms for a lot of years. And the teachers are great, and we have great administrators. So I'd like to say in support of that. But the real reason I'm here is I think what I find very alarming is the manner in which all this is being addressed. I think the world is very diverse. I think we have a lot of opinions out there, and it's fine to have your opinion. But you don't shove your opinion down other people's throats. If you've taken classes in mediation or in leadership, you never put things out like musts and have-tos and ultimatums. That's not how things get done. If we want the best for our children, then we have to work together. We can't bully our way into getting what we want. You may want it, but the majority may not. You know, we're grown-ups. We have to realize that we don't always get what we want. We have to compromise to meet the needs of as many as we can. And I would hope that political people could put that aside and try to work together with our teachers and our administrators. It's a hard world. I know people are scared. I think there's a lot of disinformation out there. And lots of times I think about the poem about the elephant and the 6 blind men, and how one gets the tail and one can only feel the ear and one only gets to feel the leg. We don't always have the whole picture. Our reality may be just the elephant's leg or the elephant's tail. We don't see it all. And we have to be open and listen to get the big picture. And until we do that, we will not be able to accomplish anything. All this bickering is not beneficial, and I hope that people will be willing to work together and to be quiet and slow this train down and listen to each other and work together. Thank you.
Thank you. Stacy Davis. Good evening.
Hi everybody. I am Stacy Davis, and I'm running for District 5. I signed the citizen agreement. I'm one of the 5 candidates. My professional background is mostly digital communications. I'm a university graduate and a mother of 3 strong humans that need every one of us in here tonight. I have so much to say, but I'm going to touch on some of the main points that have really been weighing on my heart. First and foremost, there is not one teacher or staff member that doesn't deserve the appreciation that you're putting forth with the support that you have. Not one of you. You're doing a great job based on what you're given. I myself have received many questions through the weeks about woke and CRT. We know that it's taught in California and on the West Coast, but have you looked at the East Coast lately? North Carolina is fighting for their culture and their heritage. You can find this map on Parents Defending Education. If you look at the map, you will see that North Carolina is in the middle and starting the indoctrination. The following 13 districts in North Carolina do have woke agendas: Asheville, Catawba, Charlotte and Mecklenburg, Chapel Hill, Carrboro, Chatham, Beaufort, Mooresville, New Hanover, Orange, Randolph, Wade, and closest to us is Pitt. I'm fighting to keep it out of Beaufort County, so if you do not want CRT in Beaufort County, you should be standing and fighting with me. CRT is also not just about race. And as someone who studies globalization, I find it alarming that our educators and board focus on that classification. Pitt County Schools describes Democrats as blue collar and secular, and Republicans as white collar and religious. None of that which is based on race, but political affiliation. To say it doesn't happen in Beaufort County cannot be assured, but it can be prevented. On January 24th, I was written a letter being thanked for my interest in Beaufort County schools, as if my concerns as a candidate and parent were being immediately dismissed. And this particular educator, who may be here tonight, was speaking for all teachers. She continued the letter sent by Adam O'Neill, described as inaccurate, and she continued to discuss my lack of knowledge within the school. Ladies and gentlemen, if that doesn't feel like disrespect for my role in education as a parent, I don't know what does. Please keep in mind, my 2 siblings attended Beaufort County schools. My parents
Ms.
attended.
Davis, you're at your 3 minutes, right on the nose. Thank you.
My email is gettoknowNC@gmail.com. I have a lot more to say. Thank you.
Steve Rader. Steve Rader, oh, there he is. Good evening.
As an attorney who has worked in state government, I have a lot of concern about one of the whereas clauses in the resolution this board passed, because that clause in effect says that you don't believe in local control of local schools. Our statutes clearly give this board control of curriculum. DPI does not tell you what to do. That issue came up when there was some back and forth about the Hillsdale College course. And Representative Kidwell introduced a bill to say that that was approved. The legislative legal staff looked at it and said, Representative Kidwell, you don't need this. The existing statute gives the county school board the authority to adopt any curriculum they want to adopt. Now, I know DPI is at a turf battle. They want to control everything, and they try to tell you otherwise. They base that on a statute that has to do with testing. The legislative staff are basically attorneys who are neutral, and I think they've given you the correct answer on that. Your own attorney has very close connections to DPI and is not going to be in a position to deviate from the DPI narrative, and he hasn't. Now, when I was in state government, and I was general counsel of the largest department of state government under the Jim Martin administration, where we had 18,000 employees and a $3 billion budget, there were times that we had different opinions than the Attorney General. In fact, 3 times I rendered departmental opinions directly opposite the Attorney General. Every one of those times, my opinions were upheld over the AG's. So there are different opinions out there very often in the law. The law is not always clear-cut. But I think in this case, who gave you the straight scoop was the legislative legal staff. You have authority over curriculum. You ought to exercise it. And this is a huge issue because we have a very woke state Board of Education. Those jobs are appointed for eight-year terms, so they're going to be in there. All 3 of the Republican candidates for governor want to get woke out of our schools. But it's going to be a while before they can get control of that state Board of Education. So it's all up to the local boards to keep the alphabet soup of woke, ESG, DEI, CRT, SEL, etc., out of our curriculum. And I'm concerned the math curriculum y'all just adopted had right in it that they should talk about social justice and math. That's absurd. Thank you.
Chris George. Good evening, sir.
Thank you. I'm just a concerned parent. I live in Bath. And I wanted to make a few observations. And I'm not surprised to see the tension here between the administrators and some of the parents who are concerned and the board. It's normal when people come in and question you and your place of work and question what's going on for people to get defensive about it. And, you know, I'd like to start out by saying that I think, that I'm going to say everybody, but we know it's not everybody, because there are some bad people in the world, and when we're responsible for kids, we have to recognize that there are some bad people in the world. But let's say, you know, for the sake of this conversation, everybody here has their heart in the right place, and they want what's best for kids. And I think what we have to understand, though, is that in recent days, in recent years, we've had these new concepts introduced. These concepts are grown-up concepts that get simplified, but they have a very strong power of suggestion. It's very hard to raise a child today without him being inundated through the culture with all of this stuff. And the very notion that, oh, this is a gender unicorn, this is for little kids, that's a scary thing right there. Because if you tell a kid that he may be born in the wrong body, he'll believe you. And he'll start thinking about it. And we all know, we all lived through this with COVID and with all the stuff that's going on. You tell somebody they have something wrong with them, a lot of people will convince themselves they have it immediately. And it's really something else going on in their head. These are kids that are sometimes autistic, These are kids that are disaffected. So I think it's important that the school just take very seriously that whether we believe this stuff is in the curriculum or not, none of us here have read this whole curriculum. We haven't. I don't know that there's anybody here who's read every book that's in those libraries and all this stuff. But what I do know is this. I know that there are groups that have been working actively for over a dozen years now to push this stuff down into schools, these concepts down into schools. And they're pushing it into regular textbooks and regular lessons in math and history, in English and social studies, in health, in all of these subjects. So you may say, no, we're not covering that. But they are, the arguments, the frameworks of these arguments are in there. The state of Florida went through this and found thousands of instances of this. And what they did was they went to the textbook manufacturers and said, you either take this stuff out or you don't sell to the state of Florida. Now somebody's already done this.
Mr. George, you're at your 3 minutes.
Okay, I'm just going to say on my way out that I would recommend you look at the Hillsdale curriculum. It's free. They will bring people here, go through it with you. They've done that exercise. And I think what you'll find is that it is the education that most of the people at this desk had before this other stuff. Thank you very much for
Last but not least, Mr. Daniel Hudson. How's everybody doing?
My name is Daniel Hudson. I am running for District 9. I attend a lot of these meetings. A lot of y'all know me. I wish we could get this kind of a crowd on a normal meeting night. It shouldn't take this kind of political theater to draw a crowd here. But I'm not going to talk to you tonight from that standpoint. I'm going to talk to you from a parent standpoint. I have 2 children that attend Beaufort County schools. Okay, so it's very near and dear to my heart. I see the struggles. You know, I hear what's going on. I've tried to educate myself as much as possible. I'm not a politician, all right? When I entered into this, I had no idea how much I would learn about local politics. You know, our children's education is not a political football. It shouldn't be treated as such, ever. Now, I don't say that lightly. I feel like a lot of things have been said, a lot of things have been put out there. Do we have our problems? Absolutely. But, you know, the challenges we face with our children's education, they are real. There is a lot of stuff that has the potential to infringe on what we hold near and dear here in Beaufort County. So it is a constant struggle. But as a parent, I'm going to say this. If anyone on this board or anyone in this crowd tonight believes our children's education is something we can just throw around like a political football, from a parent, that's very disappointing to me, from a parent's standpoint. Okay, now, the resolution that this board voted on and passed just a couple weeks ago in support of our educators. These educators work tirelessly day in and day out, every day. In a lot of cases, they spend more time with our children than we do as parents. If you can't get behind supporting our educators, shame on you. Shame on you. If you cannot support the people that are developing our children today, right here, right now, then shame on you. Thank you.
I did miss one. I'm sorry, Miss Patricia Garrison. I need to apologize because I just skipped right over you. Sorry, one more. Sorry, Miss Patricia. I hate
We were going to talk about that.
Look, I'm a human and I make mistakes as I go along. Thank you, Miss Garrison.
Everyone in this room will agree that children in Beaufort County deserve the best education possible. We recognize that many staff and teachers go above and beyond the call of duty. In the document, School Board Candidates Contract with Citizens of Beaufort County, there are 22 separate issues outlined. Tonight I wish to speak to approximately 6 subject matters addressed that I feel we can all agree on. Abolish gender identity and LGBTQ / influence in the classroom. A child or young adult questions about gender and sexuality are best addressed privately, not in the classroom. Chromosomes X and Y are all you need to know about gender. There is no place in our classrooms, libraries, or athletics. Curriculum. Fundamentals of math, English, reading, writing should be taught in the traditional manner proven effective for years. Common Core math is an utter failure. Math, English, reading, writing are basic fundamentals required to function in society and the workforce. The founding documents should be taught as written with the original intent. Students should receive additional tutoring to ensure that he or she is performing at grade level. Parental involvement. School board meetings need to be held at a time which allows parents greater ease in attending. Attendees should be made to feel that their input is valued and they are welcome. Parents, teachers, staff, students should be able to discuss issues or concerns with board members in a confidential manner. Behavior issues. Bullying and disrespect towards teachers and staff will not be tolerated. Alternative learning environments should be in place, plus counseling available to determine the cause of these behaviors. These children need a support system. All students and teachers need to feel that the classroom is a positive learning environment. Controversial ideologies such as critical theory, critical race theory, climate change, to name a few, are ideologies propagated by a certain sect of society. The purpose of critical theory is to have a child question their parents, question the church, and question the exceptionalism of their country. Thus, societal breakdown. Fiscal responsibility and management. Responsible spending of the taxpayers' money is self-explanatory. We the people want to work with the Beaufort County school system to ensure success of all students so they may be productive citizens in society. Thank you.
Thank you.